This is the kind of shake-up I needed. God, this is gorgeous out here. Welcome to Island Lake, everybody, for another 2-hour run. This is day 11. Day 11 of running 2 hours or more. I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't. Other than I am like flipping on top of the world, and I'm so grateful my body is holding up strong. All of the strength training, all of the stretching and chiropractics and massage, and all of those things have really helped my body get to the position where I am today. And I gotta tell you, this is probably the best I've felt since 2020. That's a long time ago, 3 years ago, when I was training for my ultra. Now you're probably wondering, why? Why, Dave? Why are you doing this? Well, I'm doing it because I felt stuck, stagnant, and I just got fed up about playing the victim card over and over and over again in my head. I couldn't do it anymore. So it's just time to just get out and do the thing I love and just shut up and not complain. Just do the thing. And when I live in such a beautiful part of the world, honestly, I'm just grateful that I live in Canada, in Ontario, because it is flippin' beautiful all year round. Whether it's winter, fall, spring, or summer, which is what we're in right now. And yes, it can be hot. Yes, it can be muggy. Yes, all of those things. Right, in the winter, it can be way too cold. But you know what? I don't care. I just run. Just run and decide. You gotta decide on something, because if you don't decide on anything, then you're never gonna do what it is that you wanna do. So for me, I'm just trying to run, and I'm trying to train, and I'm trying to get my mileage back up to what it once was, because, you know, I do want to run this 100 miler, and the only way to do it is by training and getting out there and putting time on your feet. Yeah, I can be slow, and you know, many people have passed me today on the trail, but I don't care. I don't care. It's not a race. I'm just training. It's just for me, right? So 2-hour runs are flipping epic. When I was overweight and I was not doing very well, I was kind of scared about where this was going to lead me. Heart failure occurs when your heart doesn't pump blood as well as it should. Certain conditions such as narrowing arteries in your heart, coronary heart disease, or high blood pressure gradually leave your heart too weak or too stiff to pump the blood efficiently. Again, I was scared, right? And I was looking at the conditions that lead to heart failure, and you know, not all conditions that lead to heart failure can be reversed, but treatments can improve signs and symptoms of heart failure and help you live longer. Lifestyle changes such as exercising, reducing sodium in your diet, managing stress, and losing weight can improve your quality of life. The one way to prevent heart failure is to prevent and control conditions that cause heart failure in the first place, such as coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity. You know, when I look at the symptoms of heart failure, some of the things that really started to scare me were things like when you exert yourself, lying down, fatigue, or weakness, swelling in the legs, ankles, feet, rapid or irregular heartbeat, reduced ability to exercise, persistent cough or wheezing. Man, I was scared. So I had to make changes, and I had to make them fast. So now that I'm running, I'm seeing major differences in my life. And so my why is contributed, or my why is attached to that. And since my last video, I looked back as to why I run, and I was able to rekindle that, and again, get scared that if I don't do the things I know I need to do, I could go back down that rabbit hole, and I don't want to know where it leads. I don't want coronary disease or a heart attack, high blood pressure, faulty heart valves, damage to the heart muscle, heart defects, and my risk factor goes up the older I get. So is it good to run for 2 hours every day? Well, here are 9 benefits that you can get from running. As a general rule, 2-hour runs are good for experienced runners as long as the pace of running is within the line of your current fitness. Your capabilities kind of really dictate whether you can actually do this or not. I am an experienced runner. I've been running for many years, and I can do these things. So I decided I'd push myself because it had been a little while since I kind of took on a little bit of a challenge like this. Look, you also have to make sure that you're recovering from these longer runs because you don't want to get injured. So you got to listen to your body, figure out what your training plan is, and then follow it. So the benefits of running for 2 hours are numerous, and I'm going to go through the list so that way you can decide for yourself if that's something that you want to embark on. It's not for everybody, but for some of you, it may just fit the bill. Running for 2 hours significantly increases your aerobic endurance. Look, there's no two ways about it. The longer you run, you will improve over time. Just make sure that you're going slow. This is not a race, this is training. And you want to be able to build up to these longer distances. But once you're there, you will be able to stay at a nice steady pace while you're running these 2-hour runs. And you'll be able to maintain a certain pace for a longer period of time. Running for 2 hours will increase your capillaries and your small blood vessels, which can help deliver oxygen and nutrients to your muscles and remove waste products from them. The more capillaries surround each muscle fiber, the faster the transfer of oxygen and carbohydrates to your muscles is. Also, which means that you produce more energy faster. When you run long, you increase the enzymes in your muscle cells that grow capillaries, which are the small vessels surrounding the cells that are important changes to allow more oxygen to be delivered to your muscles. They also help with your tendons, ligaments, and things of that nature. Here's the thing, guys. Let's all just run long and slow because we all need that. So I really enjoy base building. And during this time, I build up a lot of mitochondria because I'm gonna put those things to work, right, when I start adding some speed work in. Now, earlier on in the year, I had done some speed work for about a month and a half, and it was okay. But right now, I'm just loving these long, slow, 2-hour plus runs. I've got the time at the moment before things get crazy, so why don't I just take the time to build up my base nice and slow and get faster at the same time. Low heart training is one of those things that, God, I wish I had known about years ago when I first started out. Running for 2 hours significantly helps you burn fat as a fuel source, as long as you are going slow. Like if you're racing crazy fast, look, you're not going to be in that fat burning zone, so to speak. But the slower you run, you teach your body to use your fat as a fuel source, allowing you to go further for longer at a steady pace. And the longer that you do this, the more that you train this way, the more that your body gets used to this. So that way, when you do have to race, then your body can switch over when needed to 100% burning glycogen. Because look, even running these steady states, you burn both. Like it's not like one or the other. It's not anything like that. It's your body burns both fuel sources even when you're going slow. I think the only time that your body really burns pretty much mostly fat is when you're sleeping, I think. But I don't quite know because I'm asleep. But I think there are studies, but I'm no doctor. You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. Google it maybe. I like running longer, and these 2-hour runs allow me to get stronger because the stronger I get, whether I'm going at a longer distance or I'm going up hills or whatever it is, you are training your body to build muscle. Look, you're not in the gym, but you're in the natural gym. Maybe you're going up these big, huge hills. Maybe not. Maybe you're running down. Maybe you got a little bit of incline on some of the trails that you do or the roads that you're on. But just know that running 2 hours strengthens your heart and your muscles you use for running. This one can be very beneficial, but running for 2 hours allows you to play around with or experiment with fueling, right? These longer runs, when you're out on them, you have the ability to figure out how you plan on fueling your race, right? Are you going to be using gels every 8 kilometers? Or, you know, what about hydration? How is that going to play out into your running? You need to figure this out because you don't want to wait till race day, because man, oh man, it's like the last thing. I think you guys all know what it's like when you try something new on race day. It doesn't go very well, right? That's why we train. We train our bodies, because when the day comes, it's just like an assembly line. You wake up and you just do what you've been doing in your training, and then you execute it. That's what I keep telling myself anyways. I like this one, and that's about improving your pain tolerance and your self-esteem. If you can go longer on these 2-hour runs, and look, if you're just training really slow, that's one aspect of it. But if you're training to like run a marathon, then you need to know where that pain tolerance is and how you can overcome it, because to have that self-esteem, to know that yes, you can get to that finish line because you've been training and you've taught yourself how to get through these tough times, man, it'll help you in your marathon for sure. Running for 2 hours each day also teaches you how to manage the clothing situation, right? We all have certain clothes that we like to wear for, you know, doing a tempo run or a long run or a hill repeat or whatever it is. I find that with these longer runs, it gives me the opportunity to figure out my stuff, right? This is like this miscellaneous thing that, you know, we don't really talk about so much, but we're so used to running a certain way that it becomes habit. If you don't have certain, you know, if you don't have the certain gear with you, like you know, drove down to a marathon and you got a hotel and you had forgotten your shoes or you had forgotten your shirt or what it is, you have to be able to be adaptable. Adaptable. Oh my gosh. So running 2 hours in different clothing allows me to kind of figure that out. I got some shirts that are really great, but the longer I run, I find that, you know, you don't want to have bleeding nipples, because that sucks. Now, there is a purpose for running 2 hours a day. For me, there is, because I want to run an ultra marathon. So the more time on my feet, the better it is, because, you know, running 100 miles is going to take a long time. But you have to look at your training plan. You have to figure out what it is you're training for, because running 2 hours every day may not be the right thing for you. It may be the wrong thing. And the other thing is maybe running 2 hours every day doesn't happen every week. Maybe it's like once in a training block or whatever it is. Maybe that's you're peaking out at your volume, because that's 14 hours in the week, right? You need to make sure that you have a rest day built in there as well. Sometimes it's like you just need to do something different and make a challenge for yourself just to kind of get that spark going again. Maybe that's what you have to do just to kind of get going, right? That's kind of what I did, and it's helped me a lot. But again, you have to know that you have the time to train this way. There's a lot goes into it, right? Life comes into play, and what happens if, you know, an emergency happens and now you're not getting your running for the day? Like, you're gonna beat yourself up? No, it's not like that. But you have to figure out your why. You have to figure out the training plan. You have to figure out what race you're doing. There's a lot of these things. So running for 2 hours every day is very beneficial, only if there is a goal and a purpose for it.